Hine matovu manayim. It is so wonderful for us all to be together this evening. I want to welcome all of you who are here in person. You are an intrepid bunch. The snow is not going to keep you away. We're calling for a pretty big storm here tonight in New York, so we're very especially grateful that you made the effort to come in person. It makes a big difference to see your beautiful smiling faces. And of course, we want to welcome everybody who's online as well, from near and from afar. We're delighted that you can join us as well. We want to bring in Shabbat together with the beautiful light of the candles. As I invite you to rise as we turn to page 4 and say the blessing over the candles. You may be seated as we turn to page 10 for Yedid Nefesh.
Yedid Nefesh of Harachaman Meshochavtach Eretzonach Yarotzavtach Kemo continue on page 11. Arba'im shana kut bedor v'amarm to'elevavhem v'hem lo yadu drachai asher nishpati v'pim yavon el menuchati. We'll continue with Shir Ladonai on page 13. Shiru Ladonai shir chadash, shiru Ladonai kol haaretz, shiru Ladonai baruchu shemo, asru miyom liyom yeshuato. Shiru Ladonai shir chadash, shiru Ladonai kol haaretz, shiru Ladonai baruchu shemo, asru miyom liyom yeshuato. Sapru v'goyim kevodo, v'chol ha'amim niflotav, ki gadol Adonai u'mulal me'od, norahu al kol Elohim. Shiru Ladonai shir chadash, shiru Ladonai kol ha'aretz, shiru Ladonai baruchu shemo, basru miyom liyom yeshuato. Ki kol Elohei ha'amim elilim, v'Adonai shamayim asa, hod v'hadar lefanav, oz v'tiferet b'mikdasho. Shiru Ladonai shir chadash, shiru Ladonai kol haaretz, shiru Ladonai baruchu shemo, basru miyom liyom yeshuato. ישמחו השמיים ותגיל הארץ, ירם הים ומלואו, יעלו שדי וכל אשר בו, יעז ירננו כל הצייר. לפני אדוני קיבה לשפוט הארץ, ישפוט תבל בצדק ועמים באמונתו. We'll continue on with Romamu on page 20. Continue on page 21 with Mizmor LaDavid. Please rise in body or in spirit.
Be seated. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. There are so many things I love about being a rabbi. But one of the things I love most is teaching, because I love my students. I love getting to know them not by what they do or don't do or did or didn't do professionally or where they went to school or any of those other resume metrics. But I love watching them wrestle with our teachings and our tradition and hearing them share how it resonates or doesn't with them and their lives. Which is why the words of Rabbi Hanina, who said, "I have learned much from my teachers, even more from my friends, but most of all from my students," why those words resonate with me still these 2,000 years after he said them. So I'd like to share two highlights from my recent couple of weeks of teaching. But before I do, I need to do a quick exercise back into the Torah portion from this week. So in this week's Parsha, Vayigash, we read one of the most dramatic scenes in the whole Torah. To catch you up, we're in the midst of the cycle of the Joseph stories. Joseph, as you may recall, was the favorite son of his father Jacob and was hated by his brothers because he dreamt of them bowing down to him and, you might say foolishly, shared that with them. but also because of his father's obvious special treatment of him, including the gift of an amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. And yes, you Andrew Lloyd Webber fans, that reference was for you. To get rid of him, his brothers decide to sell him into slavery, and then they lie to their father, saying that he has died. Joseph ends up in Egypt, where he becomes falsely imprisoned, but from there he rises to power to become the number 2 to Pharaoh by interpreting Pharaoh's dreams and preparing Egypt for an upcoming famine. As Joseph's family suffers from the famine back home, his father Jacob dispatches his brothers to Egypt to get food, and lo and behold, they end up coming before Joseph to plead their case, although they do not recognize him. Joseph, wanting to see if they've changed, puts his brothers to some tests, and that's where this Torah portion starts. That's where this Torah portion comes in. So it opens with Joseph's brother Judah impassionately pleading for his younger brother Benjamin's freedom. And Judah says he's even willing to take Benjamin's place as a slave, and so passes the test that Joseph had set for him. Joseph is so moved by Judah's plea and has been persuaded that he has changed his ways that he reveals in this dramatic scene his true identity to his brothers, weeping so loudly, it says in the Torah, that his sobs are heard by all the Egyptians, including Pharaoh. He tells his brothers that it was all part of God's plan, and then he not only reconciles with his brothers, but forgives them for all they did to him, for selling him into slavery. Instead of seeking revenge, he shows compassion towards them, and he reassures them that he will care for them and their families throughout the famine and in the time to come. So as we near the close of the book of Genesis, a book teeming over with sibling rivalry, sibling dysfunction, and even sibling murder, we conclude on a hopeful note, a hopeful message of forgiveness and reconciliation. Which brings me back to the highlights of my past few weeks. The first happened on the last day of the class I taught this fall. It was a class in which we explored what Judaism has to say about the various relationships in our lives, those with our parents, our children, our partners, our neighbor, the stranger, and of course, our siblings. As we were reflecting on what we had covered in class, one of the students shared quite a personal story. She told the class that she had a brother with whom she had a very fraught relationship. But because of what she had learned, she was inspired to reach out to him. And that outreach both surprised him, was welcomed by him, and it opened up a conversation that began to provide some healing. That outreach moved him to want to reconcile. It takes a lot of courage to move from the page and the classroom and apply it to your everyday life. A lot of courage. The second story happened just a week ago with one of my conversion students. We ask all of our conversion students, as a last step before they meet with the Beit Din, the rabbis, and immerse in the mikveh, to answer a series of essays to help them reflect on what they've learned and to help them imagine the future of their soon-to-be Jewish identity. I have permission from this student to share anonymously what she wrote in her essays, unprompted. During Pathways, which is our conversion class, I found myself in a painful argument with my sister, the kind that leaves you feeling raw and stubborn at the same time. Later, while reading the chapter from Telushkin's Book of Jewish Values on the central importance of sibling relationships and the responsibility to preserve them, I felt something in me soften. I knew I needed to make amends, she says, not because I was at fault, but because the relationship mattered to me more than my ego. I reached out. She forgave me, and now we are on much better terms. How inspirational is that? As I said earlier, it takes a lot of courage to move from what you read in a book or learn in a classroom and actually apply it to your everyday life. The story of the reconciliation of Joseph and his brothers is a great feel-good story. But if that's where it ends for you, then it has utterly failed its purpose. Because it should call you to reflect on the relationships with your own siblings and see if maybe they need some repair. And then if they do, for you to do something about it. And even if they're not in need of repair, maybe just reach out to your siblings and tell them you love them. Because that's what our tradition demands of us. The Talmud teaches the very purpose of study is for it to lead to action. So don't listen to me. Follow the lead of my students and let them inspire you to do so. We turn to page 23 for Lachadodi.
Yeah. ותרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובתהילה, תוך אמוני עם סגולם, בואי חלה, בואי חלה, ידעי לחי דודי, ידעי לקראת כלה, ידעי פני שבת, פני שבת נקבלה, ידעי לחי דודי, ידעי לקראת כלה, ידעי פני שבת, פני שבת נקבלה.
Now that we've welcomed the Shabbat bride, welcome each other. Say Shabbat Shalom to those around you. Introduce yourself to someone you haven't met before. You may be seated as we turn to page 27.
מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, ולזמר לשמך עליון, להכיר בבוקר חסדך, ואמונתך בלילות, עלי עשור ועלי נבל, עלי היגיון בכינור. צדיק התמה יפרח, כארז בלבנון יזכה, שתולים בבית אדוני, בחצרות אלוהינו יפריחו. עוד ינובון בשיבה, דשנים ורעננים יהיו, להכיר כי אשר אדוני, צורי ולא עוולת בו.
We want to wish Mazel Tov this week to Jillian and Eli Simon, the parents and grandparents Jackie and David Simon, on the birth of their child, their son, and their grandson Henry Max. And we want to invite up any children who might want a blessing. I see a couple of them here. Oliver, you coming up? You gonna come up? Okay, we got. You want your grandmother with you? Yeah. I'm going to do it for both girls and boys and anyone of any gender identity, even though we have two boys here. Yisamech Elohim Kasar Rivka Rachel Beleah, Yisimcha Elohim Ephraim Umenashe, Yevarechacha Adonai V'yishmerecha. May God bless you and protect you. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichuneka. May God's light shine upon you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God's path always be easy for you, and may you be granted the blessing of shleimut, of wholeness, and of shalom, of peace.
לדור ודור נגיד good lecha. לדור ודור we protect this chain, from generation to generation. לדור ודor these lips will praise your name.
It's always my favorite part of the service, watching the next generation, Lador Vador. And just as we have blessings in our lives, so many blessings like these, we know also there are people in our lives who are suffering that could use our prayers and our healing, suffering of body, of mind, of spirit. And if you have anyone in your hearts that you're praying for, please rise in your seat as you are able, as the cantor sings the Misha Berach, the prayer for healing.
May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shalema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
Refuah Shlema, a speedy healing, a complete healing to all. You may be seated. We express our condolences this week to the family of Robert Mnuchin, who passed away this week, the husband of Adriana. We extend our condolences to her and to Alan, his son. May his memory be for a blessing. And always in our hearts, this week of their yahrzeit, we're especially remembering the following in our community with love: Albert Avigdor, Alvin Basque, Gail Bension Bayer, Ruth Bernbach, Bella Blum, Faye Braffman, Helene Miller-Brown, Pauline Brownstein, Louis Burston, Gertrude Rachel Cohen, Andrew Corman, Pearl Davis, Eleanor DeBrow, Joe Dweck, Steve Elbaum, Jeannie Feinstein, Erwin Fuhr, Dr. Abraham Isidore Fingerroth, Karen Foster, Abraham Friedman, Samuel Friedman, Al Gold, Benjamin Goldman, Grace Goodman, Nettie Goodman, Martin Gottesteiner, Abraham Greenberg, Dr. Harold Greenblatt, Gedalio Grinberg, Bernice Hackel, Abraham Hauptfinger, Eileen Hoden, Maurice Hoffman, Harry Hymans, Nettie Hymans, Inez Jacobs, Jordan Kaplan, Kate Kaplan, Sidney Kastenbaum, Sherman Jack Keller, Ruth Klingenstein, Rita Kaputsky, Fanny Leff, Sidney Levine, Robert Markowitz, Esther Marks, Sam Merwin, Claire Miller, Elaine Miller, Joe Modlin, Dr. Simon Nagler, Alexander Neuwirth, Joseph Payson, Maurice Purris, Diane Perlman, Jean Rabinowitz, Anne Reinkraut, Jack Rowland, Dr. Jerome Frederick Rose, Ruth Rosen, Sylvia Rosenberg, William Rosenwald, Bernice Rothside, Harold Rubel, Albert Rubin, Beatrice Rush, Lawrence Saper, Jed Sato, Florence Schiffman, Walter Siegel, Joseph Silberberg, Howard Simon, Barbara Smirnoff, Isidore Wexler, Leo Wedrow, Peggy Weiss, Norman Wexler, Moses Wickner, Miriam Wilner, and Regina Wolitzer. I invite any of those in the period of mourning or observing a yahrzeit to rise in body or spirit as we turn to page 30 from Mourner's Kaddish. Yit Gadal v'yit Gadash Shemei Rabbah Be'alma Divrach Hirutei V'yamlich Malchutei B'chayechon u'v'yamechon u'chaye dechol Beit Yisrael Ba'agala u'vizman kariv v'imru Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah Mavarach Le'olam Olmei Omaya Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shemei Dekudsha Brichu Le'ela Minkol Birchata V'shirata Tushbachata V'nechemata Damiran Be'alma V'imru Amen. Yehi Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya, V'chaim Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael V'imru Amen. Oseh Shalom Bimramav, Hu Yaseh Shalom. Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael V'imru Amen. Bring all their memories be for a blessing. I invite you all to rise for the Borchu, which can be found on page 39a. Be seated.
Uma aver yom umevi laila, umavdil ben yom uven laila, Adonai Tzevaot Shemo, El Chai v'kayam, Tamid yimloch aleinu le'olam va'ed, Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'ma'ariv aravim. We will continue on page 40. ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים, ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל. שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד. ואהבת Adonai Elohecha, bechol levavcha, uvechol nafshecha, uvechol meodecha, vehayu hadevarim ha'ele, asher anochi metzavecha, hayom al levavecha, veshinatam levanecha, vedibarta bam, veshivtecha bevetecha, Uvlachtecha v'derech, u'shachbecha uvkumecha, u'kshartam le'ot al yadecha, v'hayu letotafot beineinecha, u'chtavtam al mezuzot beitecha u'visharecha. We'll continue on privately with the words of the Shema. Adonai Elohechem Emet. We will continue on the top of page 44. Umalchuto beratzon kiblu aleihem Moshe uMiriam uvnei Israel lecha anu shira b'simcha rabba v'imru chulam. Because את יעקב וגואלו מיד חזק ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל.
In a moment, the cantor will lead us in one of my favorite prayers, the Hashkivenu. It's a prayer we say every night as part of our daily evening service, and it's a beautiful prayer because it asks God to spread over us, to allow us to go to sleep peacefully, to rise up peacefully, to spread over us a Sukkot Shalom, a canopy of peace. I think tonight we're going to get a Sukkot Sheleg, which is a canopy of snow. But the thing that actually I love about snow is it actually does make things more peaceful, right? It quiets things down. It actually slows us down, which is what Shabbat is supposed to do. But Shabbat doesn't always help us to do that. So I'm going to invite everyone tonight, this evening, tomorrow, when you wake up, to think about the slowing down and to think about the peacefulness and how you can bring more peacefulness into your day, into your Shabbat, and maybe into your life, because I think that we all rush so much. It's the gift of Shabbat, and this Shabbat, it might be the gift of snow. So I invite the cantor to lead us in Hashkivenu, which can be found on page 45.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom v'hamidenu malkeinu lechaim Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom v'hamidenu malkeinu lechaim. We'll continue on the bottom of page 45. Ushmor tzeitenu uvoenu lechaim u'shalom me'ata ve'ad olam ufros aleinu sukkot shalomecha baruch ata Adonai hapores sukkot shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim.
Rise as we turn to page 46 for Vishamru.
Veshamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם אותי לעולם אותי לעולם ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם וביום השביעי שבת וינפש שבת וינפש שבת וינפש ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה בעלמא דברי קירותי וימליך מלכותי בחייכון ובחומכון ובחיי דרכו בית ישראל בגלה ובזמן קריב ויאמרו אמן יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ולעולם ימיה יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתעלה שמי קודשא ברכו לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה תמירן בעלמא ויאמרו
We
אמן.
turn now to the silent Amidah, which can be found on page 47 and goes until page 52. Feel free to pray the words on the page, the words in your heart, whatever is most meaningful to you, and feel free to be seated when you have finished with your prayers.
we'll continue on page 54 with Kaddish Shalem. Yitgadal v'yikra shemei Rabba, be'alma divra kirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon v'yomechon, uv'chayedecho b'et Yisrael, b'agalav v'zman karev v'yimru amen. Yehi shemei Rabba mevorach, le'ala me'amaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shmei kudsha brechu le'ela mikol berchata v'shirata tushbachata v'nechamata damiran be'alma v'yimru amen tikabal tzalot tehonu v'atachon d'chol Yisrael koramu v'honi v'yishmaya v'yimru amen yesh lama rabba me'ishmin shamaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen Oseh shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Amen.
I invite you to rise as the cantor leads us in Kiddush on page 55.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu, zikaron lema'aseh v'reshit, ki hu yom tehillah lemikraei kodesh, zecher letziat Mitzrayim. Kivanu v'acharta ve'otanu kidashta mikol hamim ve'shabbat kodsheha be'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat.
Amen. Please remain standing as we say Aleinu on page 56.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, latet gerula leotzer breshit, shelo asanu kegoye haratzot, velo samanu kemishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chalkeinu kahem, vegor aleinu kechol hamonam, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא שהוא בשמיימס. ככתוב בתורתך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו
I invite those in a period of mourning or observing a yard site to remain standing as we recite the mourner's Kaddish, which can be found on page 58. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uvyomechon uchaye dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabba mevarach la'olam omei omaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei dekudsha brichu. Le'ela minkol birchata v'shirata tushbachata v'nechemata damiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama Rabba min shemaya. V'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Shabbat shalom, everyone. I said this in the beginning, I really do want to thank those of you who were able to come out tonight. I know not everyone can, and it's the weather's challenging, but it does really make a difference to be here. One of the beautiful things is being in community and being in community together, and the warmth of this room is really, we can feel the warmth. It doesn't feel like winter at all. So thank you to those of you who are able to come in person. I know everyone cannot, and I know that those of you who are online and with us feel that warmth as well. So thank you all. Not a lot of announcements. It's a quiet time of year, but I do want to remind you all, or let you know that we have an annual Shabbaton, which is always the last Shabbat in January. So it's a long January this year. It's January 30th and 31st. And as part of this year, we've been celebrating America at 250 with a lot of scholars, a lot of speakers. And as part of that series, we have the preeminent scholar of American Jewish history, Dr. Jonathan Sarna, who will join us that weekend. He's wonderful. He's written a lot of really wonderful books. There'll be really interesting conversations. There'll be a Friday night dinner in person. I invite you to register and come to. There'll be services on Saturday morning. He'll give the sermon. We'll have a panel that Saturday afternoon with him and Professor Rebecca Coburn, who teaches at Columbia, another outstanding scholar. That panel discussion will be, it's actually in addition to being the 250th anniversary of America, it's the 400th anniversary of the city of New York. Yay, New York. So that panel discussion will be on New York Jews and their influence on America. It'll be in person and online. And then Dr. Sarna will be teaching as well in the afternoon. It should be really a wonderful Shabbat. So please mark your calendars. Please show up. It should be really a special time. And the only other announcement I have is that New Year's is coming. And so I want to wish everyone a happy New Year, a healthy New Year, a New Year of peace, a New Year of blessing, a New Year of joy, and a New Year of lots more time in community together. So I look forward to seeing you. We'll be here tomorrow morning. So 9:45 as usual. We'll be here. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow morning, but if not, we look forward to seeing you in 2026 for sure. And with that, we'll close with Shalom Aleichem.
Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaSharein, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei HaMelechim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Lechem L'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei HaMelechim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaSharein, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei HaMelechim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Barchuni L'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei HaMelechim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzitchem L'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei HaMelechim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Shalom, everyone.